Hey guys, this is Jay with the Douchebag Brigade, and what can I say other than I am extremely disappointed. All this time, I mean, they keep telling us, they say, just wait a little bit longer. What is a little longer in Japan? 7 years? 8 years? But I guess, the time ratio here in America, we're spoiled. But I don't know. They say wait a little longer, so I envision that to imagine that by waiting a little longer, we're going to wait till, the E3. Then I was like, maybe the Nintendo Direct. Okay, then it's definitely going to be at this Tokyo Game Show. Nothing. I mean, you know what? I'm all for more Megaten content, and I am not against the fact that they're porting Tokyo Mirage Sessions to Switch, because I never owned a Wii U, and honestly, I was thinking about getting a Wii U just for that game. But then after having watched the gameplay of that game and the story and what it entails, the fact that it wasn't like a Megaten Tensei game, basically, just with Fire Emblem characters mixed in with Shin Megami Tensei characters. I guess I kind of expected something like a Project X Zone, maybe, but obviously not the style of fighting within the Tactics RPG, but that grid. And I really thought this was going to be like Megaten Tensei or Devil Survivor, or something like that, but with Fire Emblem elements like the triangle system, the permadeath, maybe for demons, things like that. Honestly, Megaten Tensei 2, basically. But with the battle system of either a normal tactical RPG or Devil Survivor, or more often than not, I thought, you know what, they're just going to use the Fire Emblem style. Instead, from what I've seen online, it looks like a turn-based RPG. I'm fine with that. But it doesn't really look like a game where you summon demons. And don't get me wrong, I really haven't seen or played enough to really know how it works, but it looks more like you get idols, and I understand that it's a musical background, a singing career, a pop thing. And I'm all for different concepts, but for that to be the announcement from essentially the Megaten series, other than Persona 5R, which we already have an announcement for, there was nothing new really at the Tokyo Game Show. I mean, we knew it was coming, and that's pretty much it. But this is like the big change, and if you're a Megaten person and you're really about Shin Megami Tensei or any of the other spin-offs outside of maybe Persona, I don't see how this is such a big pull. Now, I'm sure maybe they just needed to do something for Atlas to kind of quiet the naysayers like myself down, so that this way we don't complain about the fact that we haven't gotten what we've been waiting for. But I would have been, what would have sufficed, I think, for most people that are waiting on this SMT 5 game. I think if we just had a little bit of information on what kind of game it is, how it's going to play out, I think we'd be really a lot more interested in the Tokyo Game Show, and a lot less disappointed. And I think I speak on behalf of a lot of individuals who were disappointed when what we received, because this was not what we expected. I think a lot of the fan base here really expected us to find out some information on Shin Megami Tensei V, whether it was a release date, some in-play, some footage. We really expected something at this event, and it's a letdown. It really is. Now, don't get me wrong, I will probably be buying Tokyo Mirage Sessions on the Switch when it is ported and comes out. But I also wouldn't be surprised if I play it for 2 hours and I'm like, it's not for me. Because there have been occasions in the Megaten franchise where that's happened to me. Catherine really isn't for me, though I can understand the enjoyment behind it. I'm just not as without an RPG element. So a puzzle game is fine. I like puzzle elements in my RPGs, but when it's just puzzles, I don't know if that can hold my attention long enough. I'm trying to give a better example of a game that would work for something that's lost my attention. Some of the last Bible games, maybe the Demi Kids game. Not that it's bad, it just sometimes you lose. The Demi Kids just kind of loses its appeal over time. It's just one of those things where, like, this kind of game kind of seems like, even though it's beautiful graphics and well created and all that stuff, I just feel like it's a letdown. But yeah, but this isn't to bash that game. This is really just to point out the dejection of not receiving any information on a game that I think we're all waiting for. Until then, obviously we'll be playing this game, Persona 5R, and there'll be other things to hold us over, but just a little information on where we're at with the progress, and that would have definitely been more than enough. But anyway, that's all I got to say on the matter. Disappointed. I appreciate everybody who checked out my last video with some ideas that I had, with hopes that they would present, or concepts they would do at the Tokyo Game Show, anything that might, be a great concept that they could come up with. Again, appreciate all the likes and the responses and views to that video, and this one's definitely not as fun. Anyway, I'm Jay with the Douchebag Brigade, and I'm out.